G'day everyone, welcome back to Fix It in Post. My name is Nick, and I thought I might go a different tangent without not a tutorial today, but basically some tips on basically how to make more money in 2018 using video, essentially. Now, I just wanted to share with you a little bit of what my journey has been like this year, and I have an idea I want to share with you guys. Now, I finished reading this book by Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert, the Dilbert comic, Dogbert, Dilbert, called How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. It's basically a biography by this awesome guy, Scott Adams. He talks about this concept of creating this thing called the stack, in which he surmises that rather than being an expert in any particular field to be successful and get paid more, all you need to do is be good enough in several different skills that complement each other. The examples he used in the book are like basic accounting, administration, public speaking, Word, and Excel. In this particular case, Scott was basically saying that in order to be successful at Dilbert, he had better than average drawing skills, he had humor skills, and he had good writing abilities, which basically contributed to the success of his comic. Now, this got me thinking as well. During the year, I work with a lot of freelancers who, oddly enough, only specialize in a particular program or simply won't work in the program that I suggest. And once I had a freelancer who would only edit in After Effects because he didn't like using Premiere. And the number of freelancers who know little to nothing about After Effects is kind of astounding. And it's also weird how many editors just don't know how to do a basic sound mix. So without further ado, here are the skills I think people need in their video stack if they want to get paid more in 2018. Now, you don't need to be Aaron Sorkin to put together a basic script or breakdown of how scenes will go, but it definitely makes a big difference if you know how to construct a scene so that everyone working with you knows how or what you intend to do. Just keep in mind, script writing is a framework and not the Bible, so you need to be flexible. Having a plan gives your clients confidence to see how things can be mapped out, and thus showing them that you are organized. Now, camera operation. You don't necessarily need to know everything about camera operation, but you should at least know what all these terms mean and how to capture a decent shot once you hit the red record button. Things like exposure, focus, zebras, f-stops, ND filters, zooming, track, dolly, composition, and headroom. Bonus points if you know what log and rec 709 are. When on set, it's important to know how to capture audio properly. That means knowing the difference between when to use a lapel mic and when to use a boom mic or something else. It's also important to also monitor your audio with your ears. Don't just assume the meters are correct. Listen to the audio captured on set. This also means capturing audio with an acceptable signal-to-noise ratio. Nothing worse than capturing bad audio. This area is vitally important. I can't stress that enough. Of course, this is my bread and butter, and mostly because it can affect a lot of change from this position in your production. Now, it's said that a movie is actually written 3 times. First, when the screenwriter writes it out. Secondly, when the actors and directors act out the movie. And finally, when the editor gets a chance to craft the film. If you can craft a decent timeline without much supervision, you're already ahead of 80% of the people out there. And if you're a camera op and you want to make yourself more valuable to your clients, learn how to edit. Guys, I can't stress that enough. I tell that to every camera operator I come across. They probably hate talking to me, but it's true. Basically, becoming a camera editor helps you understand a lot more of how the process goes from end to end. And it'll make you a better camera operator. I promise you. I guarantee. Look, do it. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry, but I haven't seen a camera operator who regretted learning how to edit. Makes a massive difference. The amount of times I see atrocious font and color choices from freelancers is amazing. Although I understand that good looking video is purely subjective, there are definitely tweaks to the overall design that will transition things from amateur to professional. Thankfully, I was surrounded by really talented graphic designers and had a sister who studied graphic design, so I was always surrounded by design rules growing up. Some of the things I've learned are rules of thirds, visible borders, the difference between serif and sans serif fonts and when to use them, color theory, and knowing that white space is premium. Like everything, these things are learned and not necessarily intuitive, so I'm no design genius, but if you know the rules, You'll be surprised how easy it is to get something that looks decent. Motion graphics is a very large field, but I believe you should have at least a basic understanding of how to manipulate an After Effects or motion project to suit your needs. The dynamic linking between After Effects and Premiere makes things infinitely easier to work between programs, or in FCP10 if that's what you're choosing to work with. But if you're looking for an area that will give you a major pay bump, then motion graphics will definitely give you that edge. Even if your motion graphics are basic, it already makes you infinitely more valuable than a lot of editors who have no idea how to use After Effects or motion. This is an area that I also think a lot of video editors for some reason just will not pay attention to, and it's something that drives me nuts because bad audio can make or break your production. And I promise you, if you have bad captured audio, that will break one thing, but if you have bad mixed audio, it can ruin your production. And I want you guys to understand that in this post game, bad audio is unacceptable. Step up your post game, guys. Fix up your audio, learn how to use a compressor, learn how to duck those music tracks so that you can hear the audio well. And a tip for me is to listen with speakers. Don't listen with headphones. If you can, listen to the final mix with speakers. It's good to understand the basics of color grading. It's you don't have to be an expert in this because, let's be honest, color grading is a bit of voodoo. So it's a bit of black magic to me. So I think that, but you should know how to color correct your footage so that it looks even across the board. And if you're going for a particular look, find the color presets that work for you. But you should know basically of when you should learn how to read the levels. Like the histogram levels on your video editing software, so you know when things are clipping or when the blacks are too black. Basic understanding of these things will make your stuff look so much better and help you have a lot more control of what your picture actually looks like, especially when it goes from your computer to somewhere else, like a device or on TV or something along those lines. So, how do learning all these basic skills earn you more money? It gives you more opportunity to put your hand up when the situation arises. Say an employer was looking to hire someone to do some motion graphic lower thirds and intro templates. You can easily reduce the employer's costs by saying you can do the lot and be viewed as more valuable because you can do two things instead of just one. Expand that even more, an executive needs to be filmed against a green screen and they need to hire a camera op to film in the studio. You put your hand up and suggest that you can not only do the shoot, but you can edit it and key the footage for a final product. You've effectively replaced a 3-person role into one. Again, you don't need to be an expert in any particular field, you just need to know enough to do the easy jobs. And ultimately, what employers value is autonomy. If they can give you the task and leave you to it without intervention, it makes you so much more valuable than somebody who needs to be babysat. Now, this seems like a lot of skills you can develop over time, but again, you don't need to be an expert in any particular field. You just need to be good enough that if someone asks you to do it, you could do it. What's interesting about learning these skills together is that you'll soon see the connections between them all and know how to leverage each skill to produce something that no one skill could achieve on its own. You'll also find over time that knowing the right tool to use will also help you achieve things faster and at a high quality. And that, my friend, is where the value of this skill set will come from. Anyways, I hope this has helped. This is my personal stack and it has helped me immensely in producing the work I do and landing the clients I have. Thanks for tuning in this year and I'll see you in 2018.